if you're feeling a little unsure of how to navigate the holidays, holiday eating, how to feel about what you ate, then we got to look at really what is causing some of that, because a lot of those anxieties are built up around abundance of foods, abundance of alcohol, abundance of just people in general, and maybe social pressures that we're feeling and putting on ourselves, and just some also overall myths about the holidays and eating in general. So I want to clear some of those things up and tell you exactly what you should be doing for yourself, okay? So ultimately, what should you eat? What should you do? It's going to come down to your goals. If you are trying to stick to something and you're trying to push through, awesome. But a lot of people are just trying to enjoy their time and enjoy their family, enjoy their friends. And when we get this idea of, I have to hold back myself from things, it's just not a recipe for really that great of a time. So what should you do? It ultimately depends on your goals. But the old school way of thinking about this is, I need to limit my desserts, I need to reduce my portion sizes, I should completely avoid alcohol, I should exercise the day before, the day after, especially. You'll see people on treadmills just spending an hour plus on cardio machines trying to burn off the calories that they took in the day before, because they feel guilty and they feel like, in order to get these results, to be skinny, I have to do all the cardio, right? And that's a huge misconception, okay? And a lot of times people say, load up on proteins and veggies. And while that's great, and yes, you can and should include those in your meal and in your days, it's not necessarily the go-to answer, okay? So I would honestly tell you to maybe do the opposite of these things if that was a better situation and if you felt better about that for yourself, right? You can have a few desserts, try a bit of everything, right? But you can also, have smaller portions and try something. And if you're satisfied with that, then that's an amazing thing too, right? You have to listen to your body and how you're feeling. And think about too, how you are going to feel after doing this, right? Because we get to make those conscious choices and we get to decide, am I gonna feel overly full because I just engorged myself? Then I don't think most people really wanna feel that way. Yes, you wanna enjoy the food, but if you can be a little bit more aware and a little bit more at ease at the end of the day, then you're probably gonna feel better overall. So, the main thing when I say feeling better overall is, if we try to hold ourselves back from foods, we tell ourselves that, hey, I can't have this, hey, I can't have sugar, I can't do this. A lot of times, we're just gonna feel like we want it twice as bad. I always tell a story about how there was a sign on a cabinet that said, do not open this cabinet. And, what do you think the first thing I did was? I absolutely tried to pull on the cabinet and tried to open it. It was screwed shut, but if that sign wasn't there, I would have just been like, don't worry about it. I wouldn't have cared at all, right? But it's those little things where people say, hey, don't do this, and then you want to show them what you can do, right? It's just the same thing, and our bodies and our minds work the same way. So if we allow ourselves to have something, whether it's a dessert or a drink or whatever it is, right, then we're automatically giving ourselves permission, and our bodies and our minds feel a little bit more at ease, right? Instead of saying, don't do this, don't do that, it's just gonna work a lot better, right? And then you're gonna enjoy your day. You're gonna enjoy it a lot more because you didn't have this overwhelming fear, this overwhelming feeling of, I can't do this, and that's all your mind's gonna think about, right? And then when you give in to those feelings, or you say you feel like you finally didn't have enough willpower and you were too weak, right? Then you're gonna feel this overwhelming feeling of guilt. And that's just a recipe for more issues, because a lot of times we'll feel like, I feel guilty about this, and then it'll cause more stress, it'll cause, maybe lack of sleep, but also stress hormones go up. And then we're doing more damage to ourselves in general than maybe if we had just had the food and maybe if we had just enjoyed ourselves. So try to, be gracious to yourself. Don't feel guilty about having the foods you love, especially when you might not have them for another year, right? We are social creatures. We want to enjoy these foods, and it's totally okay, okay? If that helps coming from a nutrition coach, then that's what I'm here to tell you. So with that, if you're looking to make a little progress, or just, you feel like you can hold back a little bit, then by all means, here's some bonus points and bonus tips for you to try to do. So if you're trying to, enjoy yourself on that day, you can also look at your overall weekly calories, right? So you can say, hey, the few days leading up to my meal, up to these events, I can maybe save a few calories or bank them for those days so that I can enjoy those foods that I love, like pecan pie, pumpkin pie, apple pie, whatever it is. And you can bank those calories while still keeping some calories throughout your day. So I'm not telling you to, totally fast before that. That's not going to be probably healthy, and it's probably not going to be that enjoyable as well. So make sure that you're still including some proteins throughout your week, including some vegetables, and just being aware of how you're feeling and, your overall hunger. But bank some of those calories, and, then you can be a little bit more lenient and just maybe more relaxed too. Second bonus point tip is if you eat breakfast or lunch, depending on when your meal is, before that big meal, you are going to feel, for one, you're going to go into it with a little bit clearer head. You're not going to be, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten all day. I need to engorge myself with all these foods, right? You're going to go into it, maybe I just need a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And you're probably going to end up feeling better at the end of the day because you didn't hold on to calories that you were just going to stuff into your belly and then, walk away not feeling so great, right? So nobody really wants to feel overly full. I know for myself, I love food, but I don't really feel comfortable at the end of the day when I've just engorged myself. So bonus points there if you can eat breakfast, eat lunch before that big meal, okay? And then your last tip is to prioritize social interaction, right? We're social creatures. This is what these things are about. We want to enjoy our time, enjoy our food, and we also want to enjoy our family and friends, right? The conversations, the laughs, the games, whatever it is, right? Those are all very important too. I know some of these holidays are focused around food and around the meals, but when you look back on some of these things, yes, you're going to remember the food, but you're also going to remember the times that, hey, we went on a walk, we talked about this, some of the great discussions. And so prioritize those social interactions because these are your loved ones, these are your family, and, that is such a big deal and really what this is all about too. So all of that to say that when it comes down to it, enjoy yourself, try to be more aware of how you're feeling about these foods and, just give yourself some grace, right? We can have food without ruining all of our progress. And it really comes down to, it's just one day, maybe a few leftovers, but that is not where progress is made. So have a great holiday, guys, and enjoy.